Well, good morning, Desmond.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Really good. We're excited. Just got in from California. John and Joe from iFinance Mortgage.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Thanks for having us. We've been really excited about this, and our goal each time we come out here is to make sure that senior leadership in UWM appreciates the fact that we love being all in.
Yes.
We love being a part of this organization and partnering with UWM. So again, thank you so much.
I'll
for
make sure
having
I
us
say
out.
back to you, we appreciate the partnership, right? That is as important to everything we do as helping you grow. And we always say, if you're growing, we're growing. So we don't have to worry about UWM. We have to worry about iFinance being able to grow their business and get larger and be able to deliver on the promise that you have in your market and with your people.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of growth, this is the largest group we've ever brought out. Tonight, we have almost 40 of our realtor partners and the rest of our team coming out.
That's great.
So in total, about 44 people coming out. So we're super stoked. We're super happy to be here.
That's awesome. That's great. Look, when the realtors come out, I think a lot of times what we've seen is realtors love you, know you, and they're like, well, they're doing good. But they think, well, this other lender's so much bigger. And then you come out and you bring them out here and they see what? Wait a minute. They have 9,000 people supporting them. They are bigger than anyone else. So it really helps them, kind of solidify the partnership and understand the support and the operation you have behind you. So I'm sure that will be a great big win for them. They'll be blown away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mind blown. Maybe just to get us started a little bit, we were very interested how and when you entered into the mortgage business and that whole scene.
I've been in the mortgage business for 34 years. 1991, I joined, had no desire to be in the mortgage business like most people I know. But I was in college, and I'd gone home for my summer between my freshman and sophomore year, and I ended up getting a summer job working for FHA. And I'm pretty sure I'm still the youngest DE underwriter. I got my DE at 18, and I started in this business as an underwriter. And nothing wrong with being underwriter in operations. I quickly realized that sales was where, in my opinion anyway, the money was at. And so, I transitioned into sales, and then basically spent 25 years running large retail organizations at some of the largest banks in the United States. And then, went to Fannie Mae, where, I met Matt, and kind of the rest, at least, is history. I've been here for 4 years and have thoroughly enjoyed it. And, I would say, to some extent, you do retail for your whole life. And I think this is some of the challenge most people in retail experiences. You don't know anything else. You now see that UWM is the largest lender. They only do wholesale, so you know who we are. But you're more conditioned to just stay doing what you do. And, again, I say I saw the light, and I don't think, obviously I say I'm biased because I work for UWM, but I don't think anyone should stay in retail. We offer better service, higher care, greater speed. All those things mean you can kind of wow your referral partners and get more loans. So, yeah, long time, 34 years in the mortgage business, never done anything else. And someone said to me, well, what did you do before mortgages? I go,
I can't
go to
remember
college
mortgages.
and high school, So, that's kind of the short story.
Amazing.
So how does your role as, Chief Growth Officer significantly have impacted the mortgage industry and UWM as the #1 lender in the nation?
Yeah, look, I have the privilege of leading the sales team and helping the marketing team. And so, obviously, when you've done sales your whole life, nothing against my lovely underwriters and ops people and IT people, I think sales is the engine and marketing is the engine that kind of powers any type of organization. So having the privilege to, lead this team, and really at the end of the day, all we do is help you. Right? Our job is very simple. I would say we have clarity of purpose. We need to help iFinance and mortgage brokers across the country win. Retail still has 73% of the market. So we've come a long way, right, from the mid-teens to like 27% now. But my job is to help ensure you have all the tools and resources you need to be able to grow and win in your market, to be able to recruit, to be able to tell your story, And when you come out here, like I said, bring your team, bring your realtors, so they understand that iFinance has 9,000 people in support of them. It's really, at the end of the day, how we're going to continue to win. So, look, my job really at the end of the day is to kind of sell that message, make sure everybody understands who we are, what we do, and why we do it. Again, to me, it's very simple and easy. Consumer should get the best deal possible. Again, bias. I think the best deal possible is using an independent mortgage broker because they care more, in my opinion. They're more invested a lot of times in local communities. And then they have the service and basically client experience promise of UWM behind them. So that's my job, kind of help tell that story and make sure we can deliver on the promise for you.
Yeah. With the experience that you had, at Fannie Mae, at FHA, did you ever see yourself being part of the broker channel at some point?
No. As I said, 25 years running big retail, I will say, I say in the nicest way, I was not a fan of brokers. I didn't believe in brokers. I didn't think anyone should use a broker. And, obviously, obviously Matt changed the game. I mean, he is the champion of mortgage brokers across the country. So it starts with him. And then when I was at Fannie, I saw, at least at the time, it was called United Shore Financial, not UWM, which it is today. You can believe one thing, but you see data that you can't argue. And it showed, look, mortgage brokers were just as good, if not better, than retail in terms of the portfolio, which we looked at Fannie, FICO, LTVs, DTIs, prepayment speeds. There was no major gaps between retail and brokers. Like, how can this be? And then obviously the passion of Matt and then UWM. I really believe there's other great wholesale lenders out there. I don't talk negative about any lender, but I believe that UWM brought credibility and liquidity to wholesale. And so, it's great being a part of it. We're doing great, right? UWM, largest lender in the nation for 3 years in a row, largest wholesale lender for 10. And, I like to say we're just getting started. I mean, one of our goals is to double our business, and that means basically we're going to help mortgage brokers continue to grow. And so I think that story is a great one. Now we have to just make sure we execute on it and deliver on what the plan is, right? Plan's great on paper, but if you execute it, wholesale should be back to, 50%. There's no reason why 1 out of 2 loans, if not more, should go through the wholesale channel. So how I think of it anyway.
Yeah.
So in essence, Matt's a good closer.
That is a very impassioned human being, right? So, but I mean, listen, I don't care how good you could be in closing or selling. If your product doesn't deliver,
right,
it doesn't matter, right?
Very true.
And so I always say, people say, well, how's wholesale doing? How's UWM doing? I'm like, well, largest lender in the nation, it says something, right? And they're not largest wholesale lender, largest lender in the nation. So that means brokers are winning. And again, it's only 27% market share, means we have a whole lot more opportunity out there. We just got to keep telling the story.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shifting gears just a little bit, you mentioned the word speed before.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that need for speed. And I wrote something down here. In your August 2021 Scotsman Guide article, it was entitled, Brokers Can Dominate a Competitive Market. You mentioned 6 key strategies there to take your business to the next level. Then you outlined 3 key tactics brokers can use to stand out. And one of them was deliver speed. Can you elaborate a little bit how UWM has just taken that to another level?
Yeah, I mean, I've mortgage business a long time. I was probably conditioned like every other retail person or loan officer. You're closing a purchase, it's 30 days. You're closing a refinance, 40, 45. And that's just what you were conditioned until I came here and learned from, obviously Matt, but UWM. And like, speed is the cure to everything. You got to have care. Don't forget, care is important. But speed, because I used to always believe, obviously, a purchase transaction, even if the purchase transaction is written to close in 21 or 30 days, what's your client most concerned about? Am I good? Am I good?
Yeah.
And so, we have a goal here to have submission clear to close in 12 days or less. I'll say it again. Submission and clear to close in 12 days or less.
Incredible.
Last numbers I saw from Fannie and Freddie, the average time to close was still like 40 days, 39, 40 days, okay? Our goal is basically a third of that, right? And so it's just a different level of expectation at UWM, because we know that everyone, a consumer, is worried about not the mortgage, they're worried about getting their home, right, or saving money. So our ability to give them that confidence and basically say you're good is so important. So, we're targeting 12 days or less for clear to close. I didn't say close. You close whenever you want, but you need to know that you're good to go. So speed, obviously, in a purchase transaction is super important. And, Matt's kind of educated me. I never thought of it this way, but he also said speed is important on a refinance transaction too, because we know now with triggers,
right.
the longer you keep, even if you have a low comp, you have a 1-point comp plan, and the market's been very volatile, the market moves, and you're like, I'm good, and it's 15, 18, 22 days, and the market moves, you're not good anymore, right? And that borrower could shop you. So speed is key to purchases, key to refinance, and we've built UWM with care, but also with speed. So I think that's kind of how I think about it. It's super important to your realtors, your builders, super important to the consumer. I just want to have confidence that I'm all set and I can close whenever I want to close.
Yeah, that's one of the number one questions we get asked from our realtor partners. How fast can you close?
Yeah.
It's never, hey, can you slow this process down a little bit?
No.
You're going too fast.
You're going too fast. No, not when it comes to, again, giving you confidence that you're good, right?
Yeah.
My credit's good. I got enough money in the bank. The appraisal's good. And now just tell us when you want to close.
Yeah, and I think to dovetail with that, one thing that we really try to do and emphasize when we work with our realtor partners and the buyers is that there's going to be more work up front so that you'll see the speed when your escrow gets accepted or started. That's when we kick it into another level. But it's going to take some work up front. You're going to need to get us all this information first, so that's going to go so much
Very
faster.
Smooth. It's that's why it's really the benefit of Ultimate Sub, of why we put all the CD and initial, and so those things that I call it the prep work or that setup work that people say, oh, this is a little aggravating. Yeah, but I'm good with a little aggravation up front to be done in 10 days, 12 days, and now I can just relax, get my movers scheduled, get everything situated so that as much as moving can be in a pain, at least this isn't a part that's added to it, right? So that's super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
What strategies can you share for independent brokers out there who want to scale, who want to build high-performing teams, high-performing loan officers?
Here's what I'd say. People always ask me, again, Desmond, you've been around for a long time. I go, that only means that I've made probably a lot of mistakes, so hopefully it's given a little bit of wisdom or experience in seeing a lot of stuff. Here's my answer. I think everybody wants the short, easy way. There is no such thing. I've never seen it. I mean, some people get lucky, great. But I think for most people, the challenge is being very clear to who you are and what you want to do. Problem is a lot of people, a lot of businesses, they're just kind of, I'm going to figure it out as you go. Well, okay, maybe you get lucky. But if you take some more time and figure out, okay, this is what I'm going to stand for, this is what we're going to do, and stick to it, you will win. Problem is consistency, execution, discipline. There is no easy path. Right? It's hard work, it's grind. And if you stick to it, you will win, right? So I say, what's the short game? I go, I don't know any. My short game is figure out who it is and what you are and what you want to do, and chart a path and stick to it. Be disciplined. Problem in life is most people think they know what they do, and they go down a path, and they don't see results fast enough, and they stop, and they were that close to making success. So if your game is social media, do it great, right? If your game is just, killing it and being all over realtors, do it great. Builders, leads, I don't know, but you should have a plan and you should stick to it and be disciplined. You will be successful if you stick to it. It's guaranteed. The problem is people just well, I tried it for 6 months and it didn't work. Okay. Well, a career isn't made in 6 months, right? Yeah. A career is made over a lifetime. And so, the other challenge I would say to the young guys and gals is they all think careers go up in a straight line. The reality is there's ups, downs. Sometimes you go negative to come back up, but that's a learning experience. And if you appreciate and understand that, then the rest of it was just more timing. Hey, it's great to get a little lucky, right?
Sure.
You know, rates go way down.
It's like,
hey,
let's go.
You know, you're not great. You got the wind behind your back. That's awesome too. But did you stay true to your path? You know, last thing I'd say it is an example is when rates do drop, how many of our brokers and LOs will leave their realtors, right? So last 3-4 years have been challenging nonetheless. And a lot of people rebuilt their businesses are doing great, and they're going to go, oh my, it's raining loans again. I'm good. And then you walk away from what's built your business. So all those type of things of being disciplined and sticking with it, even though something else may be easier, that's normally most people's challenge. They can't stay that path. So
yeah, I noticed, to your point there, when the rates dropped, we were doing refinances like crazy 3-4 years ago, whatever. And I got to say something I'm very proud of iFinance Mortgage is that we did not leave our realtor partners. We stuck with them.
Yeah.
We didn't forget about their purchase business. And so many of our colleagues actually did.
Right.
They are no longer in business.
Absolutely.
And we stayed the course. And now we're reaping the benefits. Never leave your realtor. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
I said, again, when I was running retail, I would say, realtors is how you eat, right? And then refinance is gravy. Right? You never want to give up on how you eat, but people get, I don't want to say they get lazy, but they get content, and then they're making X amount of money, and the realtor's asking questions, and the one buying the home, has a lot more stress than someone already has their home, but they're going to save money that they want, but it's a different level of pressure.
Yeah.
But that pressure is the foundation of having, I always say, a career, a business, not a job. And so if you think of it that way, you'll never leave those people. Those are the people who have your relationships with. And I mean, look, you still have a relationship with your clients who refinance, but it's just different, right? The realtor feeds you and you support them. It's a partnership. And so, yeah, I think that's just important for people to really stay disciplined on.
Yeah.
What other advice would you give to retail loan officers on why brokers are better?
Yeah, listen, the first thing I would say is, I still say there's 3 reasons why people didn't leave retail and come to wholesale. First one, and this is years kind of ago, they didn't know about wholesale, right? They didn't know about UWM. Now, we've been large lender in the nation for 3 years. I mean, there'd be no one who doesn't know about wholesale, right? So that's first. So I think that's de minimis, very small. The second is you work for a bank or someone who refers you loans. That's how you get fed. Get it. Great. Stay. It makes sense. That's how you eat. But the third is the number one reason, fear. Right? Fear. A guy like me who you work for 20 years told you wholesale is bad. You go over there, there'll be no money at the table. The person will be thinking they're getting a fix to get an arm. I mean, that's all the stuff that we used to tell them, right?
Yeah.
And so I think the number one reason that we have to continue to knock down is the fear. And now, look, UWM is a publicly traded company, so you can see everything. You can see our margins. I tell, iFinance, bring people you're recruiting out here.
Yes.
Show them what's behind you, right? And so I think it's just a continuing, recruiting to me has always been, people always like, oh, I'm going to recruit today. It doesn't work that way. Recruiting's a process, right? And so I have to continue to reach out to you. You have to coffee, have lunch, and show you why, being at iFinance is better than where you are. Look, you don't have all that overhead, right? I don't care if you're at a large retail shop. You got division managers, region managers, VPs, SVPs. You work for a bank or a bigger corporation. You got corporate you have to pay.
Yeah.
That's all additional expense and overhead that goes to your rate.
That's right.
And so I just think we got to continue to tell the message. Bring people out here. Let them see UWM. Let them see which is basically your back office, which is behind you. So you have your culture. You have what iFinance stands for. In market, great, we support you. And then you come here and know we have a huge assembly line basically in support of everything you do. So it really is helping them overcome the fear, because most of the people have probably been in the business 10 years, 15 years or so, and they've just used to it, right? Most people, look, they go, even I know this would be better for me, but man, I've always done it this way. And so, sometimes you need something bad to happen that makes them jump over. That's why you have to be in contact with them. But I think we will continue to win. Facts are on our side, right? I think, like I said, we're averaging a little over 12 days in submission clear to close. You can see our margins. Compare that to any retail lender's margin. I mean, what are we talking about? That goes to rates, right? Again, service promise, care. So I just think we got to keep telling the message, keep showing people, and they'll continue to keep coming.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so true because, in the retail space, it's like they dangle that carrot in front of them, right? They put the fear in front of them.
Yep.
And they're capped as far as how much money they can make. But once they come to wholesale, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
You get paid your true worth. The income potential is unlimited.
That's right. So you say, look, why should that corporate office or, again, the guy who was me get to make all the money off your back, right? I just think we got to keep pushing the message, keep bringing people out here, letting them see what's behind them. And someone came out recently, go, well, we bring the loans to UWM and you'll just take them. Like, impossible. We have no ability to originate a loan, right? They must go back to iFinance so that you can write the loan. If I get a loan, I got to go to a mortgage broker. You cannot get a loan directly through UWM. So when it say we have your back, I can't promise and show you and give it to you more than that, right? No single way to keep our business, support our families, unless brokers continue to win. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned the act of recruiting. It's not doesn't happen in a day.
Yeah.
It's something that Joe and I know Joe is a master at this, and I learned from him as our broker. Everybody's a potential candidate, whether they're driving Uber, they're working in a restaurant, and we've had some good experiences. We brought 2 new LOs to our company just by having conversations in an Uber ride, in a restaurant as a server, and notice that they had really good service skills. Yeah. And it's like asking that question, you ever considered perhaps a different career, a different way to help people? Yeah. And identifying some really key characteristics to see what they would be able to do in this business. So everybody that we have a conversation with, people know when they see us now, they're like, oh, you're going to try to recruit us?
Well, this is a relationship-based business, right? Especially when you talk about realtors and builders and referrals. And so my comment has always been, I want social people who can have a conversation with someone. Yeah. I mean, all the guidelines, I'm not saying that's not important, but, we got Chat UWM now. Yeah. You got guidelines at your fingertips, right? There's nothing that is, old school where like, I need to know this knowledge. Sure, you need to understand the foundation of our business, but specific guidelines, I mean, you can have that in seconds. Right. But can you talk to people? Can you build rapport? That to me, I always joke, is like, that's hard to teach.
Right.
Like, you either are someone who likes to engage with people, or you are an introvert, which is great. We're all different people, but I'll take an outgoing person who has desire and wants to make money any day. We can train them in the mortgage business. It's a commodity. I can train you in the mortgage business. I can't train you to genuinely care and want to chat and help people. Yeah. Right. So I love that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And just one final point that for our podcast today is, we talked a little bit about iFinance Mortgage, and, we do make a good effort to come out here on a regular basis and everything, and we are actively looking for new loan officers to join us. What could you tell people that we can actually use in our recruiting? Why should people want to work with iFinance Mortgage?
Well, I'd say iFinance, listen, you two are great, not just partners, but you're great business people, and you care. So when you care, that is, I'd probably argue that's probably the most important part of life, empathy and having an understanding for people. And you take the time to understand what's important to them and how you can help them achieve their goals, right? So that's important to iFinance. And then you partner with UWM. You're one of our best partners we have. And so we will support and provide resources to ensure that you can deliver on your promise. So anyone you're talking to needs to understand that you're one of our best partners. We will support you. Come out here and see, again, the 9,000 people in support of iFinance. And so they need to make the jump and get on over there and start making that money.
Hey, we're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you again so much, Desmond. We're so blessed to have been here this morning with you in this beautiful podcast studio. We're grateful for everybody that's made this happen in this room too, all the beautiful equipment, and thanks for having us out here for Success Track.
Thanks for coming out. We are committed to your continued success, and whatever you need, we got you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, take care, gentlemen.
Thank you.